With us, what is Axios's one big thing for this morning?
Good morning. Yeah, today's been one big thing is the next phase of the coronavirus outbreak. We're looking at sort of the U.S. preparing and scrambling to get ready for the next phase of this crisis. When we move from sort of preparation to dealing with the real impact. It feels a lot like, you may think, the preparation for a storm. You know, there's that week where you know the storm is coming and everything seems strangely calm. Well, now the storm is arriving. Things are about to get very different very quickly. Our reporting is already seeing this happening in sort of two distinct spaces. The first is sort of just like an economic impact. We're starting to see a lot of rolling out sort of job losses and store closes and companies beginning to shut down production. That's beginning to trickle out into the data, where we're getting reports from unemployment offices around the country that they're seeing spikes in initial claims, and we should get another little bit of that data later today on just what the real economic impacts are starting to be. And we're starting to hear more from healthcare providers and hospitals about how they're beginning to prepare and perhaps won't be able to stand the flood of new patients. They won't have enough supplies for masks or for ventilators. And we're going to see this testing, really, of the healthcare system very much in the next couple of 10 days or so. I thought it was much clever earlier in the program where you noticed, like, we're going to see a huge spike in cases, and we're going to see the impact of those cases very soon in the next week.
Nick, let's talk about the economy, as you just mentioned, that the outlook for it. What is Axios reporting with regards to the outlook of this economy, especially with regards to the future and when we kind of come out of this whole thing?
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting a lot of new data from economists, and they're sort of painting a very, very dark picture. All of the new economic forecasts are putting absolutely 100% a recession. Most likely the United States is already in one, and that will last for probably the first half of this year. We may have negative growth for the entire year, something not seen in decades in the United States. Some of the new forecasts are sort of very daunting. For second quarter growth projected, that's the next 3 months coming, could be as low as negative 14%, or could be negative 20%. You have to go back to the Depression to see these kinds of numbers and the kind of words that folks were talking through using. It's not just recession. It's not just Great Recession.
Has changed as this crisis continues to worsen.
Yeah. Some really interesting survey data we just got this morning from our friends at the Harris Poll. We were able to do really two quick polls in quick succession, one over the weekend and another one in the last 2 days, trying to pick up trend lines of how people are changing their behaviors. And the big takeaway from that is that our sense of invincibility is beginning to dissipate. Folks are reporting much more stridently that they're less likely to go grocery shopping, much less likely to go to bars or restaurants or coffee shops or go to the gym than they were just 2 or 3 days ago. You can see the spikes on the screen there. We'll hopefully have the data. And like we're seeing that trickle through into all different kinds of activities where a real sense of invulnerability is moving away, where more Americans are saying that they're worried about the virus, they're worried about the economic impact of the virus, they're worried about themselves or their family members getting sick, and they're more worried about whether the United States is prepared for the onslaught that's coming.
So in asking some of these questions, Nick, I guess my follow-up here is what is what is keeping people afloat psychologically in this time?
I think a lot of it is hearing a lot. We're asking sort of who people are talking to and who they're trusting. We're getting very high marks for public health officials, the CDC, the NIH. Dr. Fauci has become a television celebrity in the way he's talked about the outbreak. There are also very high marks for local officials, governors, mayors, sort of helping people prepare and explain for this event. The events, the ratings for the federal government as far as what they're hearing in the conference weren't that great, but I think as the tone of the federal government has changed, we saw that just in the data in the last 4 or 5 days. Those numbers are starting to tick up as well.
It is safe to say that our country has definitely changed, probably forever in some ways. Nicholas Johnson, thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick.
We'll be reading Axios AM in just a bit. And of course, you too can sign up for that newsletter at signup.axios.com.
That does it for us on this Thursday morning. I'm Yasmin Vasugian alongside Emma Mohideen. Morning Joe starts right now.
Do you consider America to be on a wartime footing in terms of fighting this virus?
I do. I actually do. I'm looking at it that way because, you know, if it got out of control, the big thing we did was a very early stoppage of people coming in who could be very, very heavily infected. That was a very good move, and it was very early, very, very early, when most people, including a lot of professionals, they didn't want us to do it. That really saved a lot of lives. And yeah, I look at it, I view it as in a sense, a wartime precedent. I mean, that's what we're fighting. I mean, it's a very tough situation. You have to do things. You have to close parts of an economy that 6 weeks ago were the best they've ever been. We had the best economy we've ever had. And then one day you have to close it down in order to defeat this enemy. But we're doing it, and we're doing it well. And I'll tell you, the American people have been incredible. For the most part, they've been really incredible.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Joe. It is Thursday, March 19th. Along with Joe, Willie, and me, we have White House reporter for the Associated Press, Jonathan Lemire, former Treasury official and Morning Joe economic analyst, Steve Ratner is with us. So reports of new cases of the coronavirus in this country seem to be coming in by the minute. There are now more than 8,900 confirmed cases here in the U.S. and more than 150 deaths. The number of cases in the state of New York alone jumped 44% over the last 24 hours, now close to 2,400. That's more than double Washington State, which has the second highest number of confirmed cases. A top official on the White House Coronavirus Task Force says the number of confirmed cases in the U.S. is expected to dramatically increase over the next few days. At a White House briefing,